So, if someone were to ask me which idol groups do I know the best and which one I've been listening to the most in my life, I would obviously say it's BTS. I've been listening to them ever since I was in, I believe, middle school, high school. And they're one of the first groups that I knew all the members' name, I know all the memes, I know all the songs. And I'm sure all the armies would know that they're making a comeback. And here's this weird sensation that I've been feeling lately, where I know I need to be excited for their comeback since it's been several years, but I also feel that I'm not all that hyped up yet. What I mean by that is, it's been such a while, it's been such a long time that the army DNA inside me is sleeping. So today what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to talk about my little bit of history of listening to BTS and then talk with you guys and sort of awaken my army spirit, if anything. So how many of you guys here would consider yourself an army? Well, the first time I listened to BTS was when they had their Skool Love album. I think that was their second one, right? I might be wrong. The Green album. And then when I really got into them was Wings album. And then I followed through them until Butter. And that's when I sort of drifted off. Also because, work and school got busy. Who's my bias? Bias question is always really hard to answer because you guys know how those things change all the time. One thing for sure is my mom's bias is Jungkook. To the point where I don't think my mom necessarily mind too much of the other members besides Jungkook. I think my bias is between RM and Jin. I like them both in the same way, as in I feel like they're really mature humans. RM is really smart, and Jin is very mature. I like the fact that Jin acts like he's very... He acts like a clown sometimes, and I think that's very good because you know how within a group, especially with 7 members, if the oldest act like they're oldest and they act too much like they have authority, then it makes it uncomfortable for the younger ones to be able to express their opinion. But I think since Jin is the oldest one, but he's very casually and comfortably approaching all the other members, that's why the younger members are able to be comfortable around Jin, and that's why RM is able to have his authority as a leader as well. So I personally think everyone kind of shout out RM for having a good leadership, but the leadership of RM is possible because Jin, who is someone older than RM, is able to completely accept RM as a leader. Because I don't know if you guys are aware of this, in Korea, age difference is actually a quite big thing. So if someone is older than you, it's very difficult for you to be a leader over someone who's older. The age hierarchy is really strong. It's not forced, it's more like a cultural thing, if that makes sense. So for the older person to be able to put themselves down and be comfortable is very nice thing to do. Because a lot of people don't do that. And they make the work environment and they make the team very strict in some way. So I'm very glad. That's why I like Jin. And also, Jin is handsome. That's why. And also, I like the fact that he keeps making these bad jokes. Worldwide handsome, exactly. And I don't know if you guys really necessarily watched Jin in other variety TV program. Initially, I thought he was just a, handsome guy. Can I be honest? Initially, the person who caught my eyes the least was Jin. I was kind of like every other member has a strong identity. Jin, I get it, he's handsome, but it didn't really catch my eyes beside the fact that he has a lot of high notes in different songs. He's more of like a standard Korean guy. Do you guys agree what I'm talking about? All the other ones look a little more unique compared to, general Korean population. Like if you look at Jimin, if you look at SUGA, if you look at RM, you know how J-Hope, like they look unique. They look different, but Jin is more like a standard handsome. Each group has that standard handsome. And usually, my eye doesn't really go to a standard handsome guy. But then, if you see Jin in other, variety show, recently he's been in this program called, I forgot what the title is, with this Korean webtoon artist named Kian Palsa. Anyway, it's a TV program where he hangs out with other people. And when you see Jin talking with other people, he's really good at sort of putting himself down and being comfortable. Everyone around him says, you know what they say about Jin? He says, oh, Kian's bizarre B&B? Yeah, I think that's what it is. Everyone says a lot of people in the entertainment field, they turn different right when the camera turns off, which makes sense. They act in front of camera, and when the camera's off, they're like, coffee. Give me my coffee. They kind of act rude or they change in personality. But they said Jin is one of the few people in this entertainment field who acts the same in front of camera and behind the camera. I kind of like that authenticity Don't you guys think that's very important? Because I know it's all show business. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that when they say I love you or things like that, it's not always genuine. I know sometimes it is, but sometimes it's part of it is just show business. But that's why I like some people who are more genuine about it. So that's why I like Jin. And with RM, does anyone know this? I keep mentioning, for me guys, whenever I have these BTS bias, it's not necessarily just from music because, music wise, everyone is good. So the real bias comes in from the personality as a person, rather than face or things like. There was this Korean program called 문제적 남자. I think the English title might be Problematic Guys. It's a show where they solve different quiz. They gather up very smart singers and entertainers and they solve very difficult questions. It's hard to describe, but in that show, he basically was able to show his intelligence very well. And I genuinely kind of look up to him because at that time, if I'm being honest, a lot of idols had an impression that, idols are dumb. I think even now people think the same way. Do you guys agree? People think, if you're idol, then you're not smart. But then RM is actually really smart. And first of all, not only is he born smart, he's genuinely born smart. And if you guys know RM reads so many books. He studies so much. Guys, can I be honest? Have you guys read books lately? Last time I read book was 23. I don't read books anymore. And here's the thing. Who do you think is more busy? Me or RM? Obviously RM. Obviously. I don't know if there's necessarily all that many people in the world who's busier than RM. He's so busy. And he's still reading these books endlessly. Now I sound like I'm just praising, but while RM was in military, he wrote I forgot if it was on Instagram or on Weverse or somewhere. He wrote a letter to armies in Korean. If you guys haven't watched it, you should go back and read it. That letter is written so unbelievably well. The whole thing is like a poem. Here's the thing, guys. At the time, I wasn't even actively looking at BTS stuff, but that thing showed up on my feed and I read the letter and every sentence I'm just like, wow, the sentence writing, wow, the word choices, wow. So I literally left a comment on there saying this is a really well-written letter. It's not, I swear to God, it wasn't a letter simply built to sound like they're smart. You know how sometimes people could write so that they sound smart? Versus sometimes people write casually, but the smartness sips out. I like the second one. I don't like when people try to sound smart. You could tell. You could tell when someone intentionally used difficult vocabulary. You could tell when someone kind of want to act like they read a lot of books. But RM literally used casual vocabulary like k. But then alongside the sentences, you could tell that this guy reads a lot just by the way that he forms sentences. And those are the things that I fell for. If I go a little bit further about the other members, who'd you guys say you liked? What is your bias? Oh, you fell for him? She says she's from Hawaii. Oh, V. A lot of people are saying V. RM and SUGA. Whenever I look at SUGA, you know how I feel like? I feel like SUGA is a very realistic musician. You know what I'm talking about? If you look at, other people who portray themselves as musician or producer on social media or in front of public, everyone try to kind of make it, and they make it seem like as if making music is easy. Okay, I'm not trying to mock Charlie Puth, but you know how sort of like the Charlie Puth showmanship where they go you just have to kick put the snare and you finish the song. But everyone knows, I'm not sure if everyone knows, making music is really, really, really stressful. It's really not that fun and and you finish. And if you look at some of the documentaries, SUGA shows very frustrated moments of how frustrated he is to make the song. I think he says something like, I don't even know why I'm doing this anymore. Here's the thing, guys. That's the correct reaction from musician. Musicians always don't go oh my gosh, I love music. I swear there's a stress that comes with it. So I think SUGA really feels like a producer to me. That's what I personally like about SUGA. And I also feel like SUGA has too many haters. Even since debuted, I don't know if you guys feel the same way. So many people have hated on BTS since debut for certain members not being good enough for idol. Certain members, they're not good looking enough for idols. And one of them they called out was SUGA. Kind of similar to, you know what's funny? They said the same thing about Big Bang. You know the Big Bang from YG with G-Dragon? They said the exact same thing. Like, oh, you know, Taesung is nowhere good looking enough. Taeyang is ugly, blah, blah, blah. And guess what? Guess who's the most successful boy groups of all time is Big Bang and BTS. So everyone was very hating in the beginning. Oh, no. Right now, no one thinks so. No one in Korea says that anymore. But in the beginning of their career, a lot of people said. And the fact that their name was Bulletproof Boys, that did not help anything. Like, I swear. Oh my god. Can I be honest? Okay, BTS came out, I think, when I was in middle school or elementary school. I can't quite remember. When I first heard the name, can I be really honest with you guys? I thought, so at the time, they didn't go by BTS. You know how now RM goes with RM instead of Rap Monster? At the time, they were going by their full government name, Bulletproof Boys, in Korean, 방탄소년단. And whenever I saw them on TV, I was like, that's a name? Someone decided to call themselves a Bulletproof Boys? Here's the thing. It was at the same time period where EXO and Red Velvet. Here's the thing. It's not even like they're in a completely different time zone. Their competition was EXO. So while EXO was going like EXO, they were like, we're Bulletproof Boys. You know, like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean you're Bulletproof Boys? It literally gave off the sensation. You know how sometimes when you look up like those 누구 idols, they have like the weirdest name ever? It literally gave that impression. I swear to God. I swear. Like the name was shouting a 누구 group. And who would have thought? Can I be honest? The only reason why that name doesn't feel weird is because they became so popular now. I swear in the beginning, everyone felt like the name was questionable. You like the name from the beginning? In the same sense, you know how RM goes by RM now? I like Rap Monster. I don't know why he goes by RM. Can he just proudly say that he's a rap monster? Rap Monster. I feel like he might feel the same way about his name. No, I like Rap Monster better than RM. Actually, now that I think about it, I think there's also a meme where they show different sides of RM. The one who's speaking at the UN, that's RM. And the ones who's breaking up all the cakes and candles, that's Rap Monster. The one who goes around break everything and lose everything, that's RM. I mean, no, that's Rap Monster. And the professional one at the interview, that's RM. Exactly, I'm referring to that grandpa who knew all the BTS member. Does your parents, guys, can your parents name all BTS member? Actually, do your parents even know BTS? My parents obviously do. Most Korean people do. I don't think my dad could name them all. No way. He might know like one or two. My mom, the thing is, my mom really likes Jungkook, but she actually doesn't know the other member's name. Your parents definitely can. Oh, they're going to concert. You're going to BTS concert with your parents? My mom only knows the group name. Sometimes some people's grandma know the names better than the moms. Kinda. Oh, your dad only know J-Hope. My hope, your hope, I'm J-Hope. Actually, what do they say about BTS? Do they like them? In Korea, you know the impression of BTS is no longer an idol? When they mention list of people who Koreans are proud of, BTS goes in there. Alongside with Son Heung-min, I don't know if you guys know the soccer player, and Bong Joon-ho, the director for Parasite. They're no longer even considered idol. They're more like one of Korea's historical figure. I'm being serious, actually. Yeah, Faker, BTS, Son Heung-min, Bong Joon-ho. Which is, you know what's interesting? Even though Blackpink is super famous, I've never heard anyone say that about Blackpink. Actually, maybe a few times. But yeah, BTS is kind of considered as like, sadly, not even Stray Kids. It's only BTS and not even Big Bang. Big Bang doesn't get to that level. Only BTS. BTS is considered within Korea as one of the people who put Korea's reputation in international world up. Psy, not really. Do you know why? It's because I think one of the reasons is why, you know the artist Psy, the Korean singer, the one who sang Gangnam Style? Obviously, he did put the name Korea out there. He's a great musician. Koreans really like Psy domestically. But the international image that Psy showed to the world was just like a comedian. You know what I mean? Like he's a musician, but people kind of considered him as like a one song meme type. So it's not like people look, oh, like Korea's an amazing country after they listen to Gangnam Style. You guys agree, right? People didn't all of a sudden, romanticize Korea after Psy. But I think BTS, here's the thing, guys. I don't want to sound like a lookism only person, but BTS boys are good looking. So when Psy got popular, people are like, oh, that's how Korean guys look like. But when BTS got popular, people are like, oh, that's how Korean guys look like. So who do you think Koreans will be more proud of? Obviously, we would want someone to mistake us for BTS. It's not that we don't like Psy. Everyone likes Psy, but it's more... Okay, imagine like this. This is a terrible, terrible metaphor, but imagine it's like a boyfriend that you would want to show off on your Instagram. So, like, for Korean people, BTS is one of those figures that we would want to show off because, you know, they make good music and they're handsome. So, who wouldn't want to say, oh, those good-looking guys are from my country? Like, for example, who would you guys want America's representation be? Would you want it to be US president? Or would you rather want it to be someone like, I don't know, Harry Styles? Justin Bieber? Kendrick Lamar? I think it's like the same way. You want a boyfriend to show off. We could have a whole talk about this later. Why don't we, after the BTS talk, why don't we have a talk about a boyfriend that you want to show off versus boyfriend you want to hide? I feel like that'd be very fun to talk about. But anyway, by the way, I'm a straight guy. I like girls. I'm a straight male. Going back to BTS, as of now, even though I mentioned my bias as RM and Jin, musically, do you know who I've been following the most? Musically, my personal favorite is Jungkook and J-Hope. Jungkook, you probably are not too surprised because, you know, he's going crazy with the solos. He has 7, he had 3D, he has Standing Next to You, he had everything. He literally is going crazy. But I think the ones that are getting a little bit less recognized is actually J-Hope. J-Hope solo songs, personally, if I'm being really honest with you guys, you guys might think I'm a fake fan. I don't actively listen to other members' solo all that much. But J-Hope's solo songs, I think I just kind of match with him in terms of musical preference, where his songs, ever since the Wings album, you know, Mama, I think that was his solo song in the Wings album. Ever since then, that's when I was like, oh, J-Hope's song is kind of my type. And then he released his album, I forgot what the English title is, Daydream? Chicken Noodle Soup, Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa is the one that lately caught my ears. And what else? He has a song that he did with J. Cole. I also like J. Cole, so Killing It Girl. So a lot of my solo favorite is personally from J-Hope. Can I be honest, guys? Oh, I don't want to say mean things. Initially, I didn't really like J-Hope. I was like, who's that loud guy? That guy's too extroverted for my taste. He's too energetic. Initially, because I'm a very introverted person. So when I see someone who's too energetic, I just kind of get tired watching them. But then, over the years, especially as I get older, I realize, oh, he's like a sunshine. You know? I kind of slowly get into it. So, initially, you know how when you're young, you find someone like J-Hope. Imagine, guys, imagine your dad or your uncle acts like J-Hope. You know how when you're young, you find it embarrassing? But then as you get older, you know how you realize, oh, those are the people who make the people around them happier. And I was thinking, I should actually look up to him because there's no way he's always that happy. So he's making an active effort to make sure he spread good energy to people around him, like to the other members, to the people who are watching them. And I think, oh, those kind of people are the real people that you need around you in your life. Because if you look at other members of BTS, you could see that who is in charge of the more reserved role and who is in charge of lifting the mood. So in order to sort of balance out the reserved members, I could see that J-Hope and members like Jin tried to sort of lift up the mood. And also as an older Hyungs, and I think they do that very well. So I personally enjoy. Going back to why don't we talk about their discography? What's your favorite song from BTS, guys? I don't know. Can you guys guess my favorite BTS song? It's not one of the title songs, but I've listened to this song probably about 200 times in my life. Maybe 300. Converse High. Okay, that's actually pretty good. Converse High is a good song. No. Like a specific track rather than an album. Which one do you think is my favorite? The answer is actually, you might not even know the song. Do you guys know a song called Jump by BTS? It goes like, Let's jump, 손을 저 위로 들고 외쳐 모두 다 jumping up. Let's jump, na-na-na-na-na. That was my favorite. I love that song. I would say like that's number one. Number two is probably Miss Right. You're my Miss Right, Miss Right. No, sexy mind and your sexy body. Sorry, that wasn't a mockery. I promise. And then third one is Wings outro. If you listen to the Wings track, there's an outro. I mean, it is also part of an intro to the next album, but the spread my wings. That one. Spread my wings. Interlude wings. Right. And I think they used it again in the next album for the extended version. Yeah, that one. Oh wait, is the title of that Wings? I'm so sorry. I thought you were referring to the album. That one. That 3 is what I like. Obviously, there's other songs I enjoy. I think I like Mic Drop, the Steve Aoki version. I also like 흥탄소년단. I don't know what that one is called in English. Does anyone know what the title for 흥탄소년단 in English is? Isn't it something like... It's the one that... Does anyone know what this English title is? It's the one that goes like, What's up? 흥탄소년단. A boys with fun. I see. You know why the Korean title is called 흥탄소년단? 흥 means sort of like a joy, fun, lit. That's what the word 흥 is. It's like a very traditional word in Korean. So instead of saying 방탄소년단, which is bulletproof boys, if you say 흥탄소년단, that means boys who are having fun. So it's kind of like a pun. But when they translated the title into English, you can't translate that. So it just became boys with fun. There's a lot of fun rhyming scheme. Also, in that song, they mentioned about which district and which area they came from. You know how they all came from different parts of Korea? So they have different songs. I forgot what the English title is. There's a song where they talk about each area they're from in one of their older albums, and I liked it. I was like, oh, the 사투리 rap? Yeah. 팔도강산, right. I guess the English title is just 팔도강산. Oh, my city. Oh my gosh, my city. Yes, my city. Oh, I like that song. Right. I listen to that song all the time while I was doing my chemistry homework. I think it starts with like a guitar intro. That one I like. What else? I also like 21st Century Girl. I have a very minor taste. I used to listen to Cyphers a lot. And back in the days, I would listen to the skits in the album. I forgot which album skits it was from. There's one that goes like, 내 이름은 진. You know, favorite cypher? Being honest, I became too old. I forgot which cypher was which. I know there's like 3 or 4, but What other songs do you guys like? You like the melody, emotional, heavy song? I either like the super energetic one or the very sweet ones. That's the 2 I like. Coffee. A lot of people like Coffee. Pied Piper. 724148. Why do I not remember that song? What is 724148? Magic Shop. I even made a piano cover to that one when I was in high school. That's the one that goes like... No, right? We Are Bulletproof? Wait, guys, genuine question that I never figured out for 10 years. You know how one of their debut songs is We Are Bulletproof Part 2? Is there We Are Bulletproof Part 1? I've never seen the Part 1. Or did they simply have a Part 2 without Part 1? There is Part 1? I don't know why. I think when I was young, I was trying to look for it, but I couldn't find it. Oh, it's not on Spotify. Dude, where is it? Oh, it didn't debut. RM said they won't perform it anymore. So here's the thing. That's what I was like. I've always seen the Part 2, but where's Part 1? I couldn't find it as a kid. You could find it. I see. So I guess there is Part 1. I just wanted to know. Because you know how sometimes they come up with the Part 3 without the Part 2? I thought it might have been one of those. Yeah. What other songs? You know, a lot of people didn't like Dynamite and Butter. I personally liked it. Am I the only one who liked Dynamite? I do know people got that sensation that like, oh, is this too Americanized? Because, you know, I think around then, that's when they started releasing English-only songs. Because previously, you know how they had a mix. But I genuinely think Dynamite is really good song. Dynamite, DNA, Butter. This is sort of when they were hitting bangers after bangers. Do you guys agree? It's like unbelievably banger. Each song was like a hit. It was literally everywhere. I agree. Black Swan, N.O., oh, wait, no, not N-O, O-N. Oh, sorry. Permission to Dance. Right. That one was also a hit. I heard that, isn't Permission to Dance the one that did best in terms of numbers? I think that one was the one that kind of like wiped the charts or something. Butter and Dynamite is the only reason people internationally know BTS. I feel like yes, but I feel like the international thing kind of came in around Dope. Do you guys remember? So I do know that they kind of had a huge jump with Dynamite and DNA around then, because that's when they started coming up on Billboard and, you know, America's TV shows. But from my experience, they were very domestic, and around Dope era, that's when people reacted to those videos on YouTube. Do you guys remember those YouTube reaction videos? So those videos started coming up. And then I think that's when I was like, oh, this is kind of trending in other countries beside Korea. Wow. See, I listened to BTS music, but when I really got into their K-popness was Dope music video. Dope music video was sensation. Do you guys agree? Ladies and gentlemen. The was actually sensational. Me and my friends try to learn the dance like yeah. That's when I also think Dope era is when they kind of showed the world what K-pop is. Because you know how at the time, people who knew about K-pop, you know, they're not too surprised. But to people who only listen, you know, only been watching American boy groups or American music, when they saw BTS Dope music video, they were like, they dance so perfectly. You know how America's boy group doesn't have a super coordinated dance? They might have a choreography, but you know how they don't have like angle to angle every moment type? I think people kind of found it amusing. Yes. Oh, I need you. Run. Also, what is it? Springtime? I think springtime is sort of when the fandom was really into BTS. Oh, spring days. Oh, sorry. I don't know what the English. Again, it's a translation issue. Because I think spring day is the ones that a lot of the fans, they visit the music video place where they filmed it, blah blah blah, and all of that. Yeah. That's when I believe not just Korean fans, but Japanese fans, South American fans, Southeast Asian. Yeah. What other? You know, I think Not Today is a little bit underrated. Oh, you just mentioned Not Today. Like I was gonna say, wait, how'd you guys exactly mention that at the same time? I liked Not Today. I thought it was as good as Dope, but it wasn't as hyped up enough. I genuinely thought that was like a banger, but I don't know. It just doesn't get as much recognition. Oh, you don't like an instrumental? I like it sort of like a grand sensation. BTS are going to have a comeback? Yeah. I feel like a lot of people haven't heard the news yet because it hasn't been, you know, very all over the place yet. What was the exact date? March 20th? 17th. That's when I'm gonna be in Korea. March 20th. Okay. I'm gonna be traveling in Korea or maybe even Japan at the time. Is that when they're dropping the album? Oh, you already have the tickets to the concert. Nice. No, I heard, here's the thing. This is not even just BTS. I heard a lot of the big groups are making comeback, not just BTS. So I think there's gonna be a whole wave of K-pop. Like if anything right now it's more quiet. Do you guys agree? I know groups like ENHYPEN and ATEEZ just recently made a comeback, but you know how the groups like BTS and Blackpink, when they move, the wave becomes even bigger. And you might think this is gonna shadow the other groups, but I don't think that's the way it works. I think it's a good thing when these big popular groups make a move. Then it kind of becomes like a waterfall effect where the other groups underneath it also get the spotlight as well. So I personally think since they kind of paved the road, once BTS paved the road again and Blackpink paved the road, then other groups could also follow through very easily. You know how, do you guys agree? It's very difficult to show your parents who never heard K-pop and you want to convince them to become an ARMY. That's very difficult. But if your parents already listen to BTS and they're aware of it, it's not too hard to sell Stray Kids. You agree? It's not too hard to sell ENHYPEN. So I think it's really important for the famous groups to do well. It's about kind of like not having a repulsion. And I genuinely think BTS is a lot of people's first time experience with K-pop. Actually, guys, was BTS your first K-pop group? What was your personal first K-pop group that you've been introduced to? Me personally, I'm born in Korea, so I grew up with K-pop. K-pop's not K-pop for me. K-pop is pop since I'm Korean. It was just pop music for me. I see a lot of BTS, Blackpink, and ENHYPEN. Really? So I guess the younger ones here, they found out ENHYPEN before BTS, which is interesting because ENHYPEN, in my opinion, is like a little brother of BTS. So you found about the little brother, like since generation-wise, that's when you were more familiar with. Wait, so if you got to know ENHYPEN first, my question is, you know how in Island, BTS came out and things like that? So were you just kind of thinking like, there's some dudes named BTS? I don't know who they are, but I guess they're helping our boys. Like, who the heck are those guys? I see. Your first was BTS because your cousin loves them. I see. You know why I got into BTS? It's cause I had a lot of female friends when I was in high school. Here's the thing. You know how there's a difference between knowing them versus getting into them? So I knew there were bulletproof boys, but I never really bothered to listen or get into them. I just knew they existed. And then around, I think 8th grade, 9th grade, one of my female friend said, Hyosang, you need to listen to BTS. And I was like, sure, sure. So, you know, can I be honest? Initially, I sort of lied about it. What I meant by that was I was kind of lazy to actually listen. So I just skipped through the songs and then I acted like, oh, I like this track and I like this track. Oh, this is good. Yeah. And then, you know how once you watch it, it shows up on your algorithm? So initially, I clicked on it just to say, oh, I took a listen to them. Yeah, they're good. And then they kept showing up more and more. And obviously, you know, like songs like Miss Right and Converse High, like those songs caught my eyes, caught my ears. And I had them in my playlist. And then soon enough, while I'm doing my chemistry homework, I'm listening to it again and again. I keep saying chemistry homework instead of any other homework because if I'm doing English homework, I can't listen to music. The lyrics in the song mix with my English brain, so I can't write essays. But when I'm doing chemistry, the math brain doesn't connect with the music brain, so I could listen to music and solve chemistry questions. It's just me. So it depends on the subject. Math, chemistry, science is all fine, but social study and language art, I couldn't do it while listening to music. The first song I've ever heard was technically 흥탄소년단. At the time, I didn't even know it was 방탄소년단 song. I just kind of thought it was a good song. So you trained yourself to listen to music while doing English? Oh yeah, exactly. Instrumental music is a little bit easier. But if it had words, then you soon realize, does anyone else ever have this happening? I had this a lot when I was doing homework, especially listening to BTS music, is I would write down essay, and instead of writing down what I need to write down for the essay, I'm writing down the lyrics. My brain unconsciously switch, and I'm writing down lyrics instead of the or when I'm typing. My hands move before my brain does, so... you listen to my piano music while you do homework. Thank you. I think instrumental music is good in that sense. I think I got into BTS when I was looking up K-pop dances to learn. You saw DNA? DNA is hard to learn, isn't it? It's the one that goes like... For me, DNA dance was way too hard. The one I tried to learn was Fire. Oh my gosh, how could we not mention Fire? You know, I know Fire dance. Fire. Fire. When I was in high school, I was hanging out with a girl that I had a crush on, and that girl, we were talking about different things, and the topic of BTS came out. I don't even know what the context was, but basically I danced Fire in front of her and her friends, and they took a video recording of it. And I think they kind of considered me as a clown. You know how... Now I'm getting really sad, but that's why I don't do Fire dances, because it reminds me of the time where I danced in front of my crush. Here's the thing, I didn't dance because I thought I was good at dancing, but you know, like more of like a clown type. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, oh my gosh, look at Hyosang, like, look at him. Kind of like, I don't know, I just wanted to make her laugh. Oh, no, I was like, whatever I could do. Yeah. If it makes you happy, then I'm happy type. Yeah. And then guess what? Like a few years later, she sent me that recording and so like, do you remember this? And I was like, yeah, I remember. Yeah. Let me just bite my tongue and what possessed you? You know? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. You know how sometimes when you like someone, you do things that you would never do? Yeah. I don't know. I don't really know why I did that. Yeah. I think they were entertained, so I'm fine. That's all that it matters. What made you think, oh, I'll dance in front of her and she'll fall for me? No. It wasn't like I danced to look attractive. It wasn't like a flirting. You know how some guys, they like try to be funny? Like, it was more like a comedic sense. Yeah, like a being silly type. Yes. Like I've always been a bad dancer, so I never expected you to be a class clown. I wasn't. Like, that's the thing. I wasn't, and I normally don't ever do that. But sometimes you do things that you feel like it's not you. It's so sad and cute at the same time. Yeah, it never worked out. It's not even like I got rejected or anything like that. I never made any moves. I never said anything. So nothing ever happened. I just graduated like that. It's okay. It's okay. Actually, it's not okay. Have you ever made moves on anyone? I'm not brave enough. Actually, this is kind of getting sad. Can we save this talk for another time? Let's go back to our BTS talk. This is making me have existential crisis about my love life. Love life. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm panicking so much that my Asian accent is coming out. Like, oh, anyway. Am I gonna try to go to BTS concert? The cost and competition was too high. I didn't even try. Maybe I'm a fake fan, which I am, but I haven't really went to concerts. I know it's a wrong thing for me to say I'll go when I'm rich, because you don't even know if they're gonna have a concert when I become rich. But have you guys ever went? Have you ever planned on going? Or do you plan on going? Have you ever went? Oh, you have? How many times in the future? Oh, you go to concert at least once a year? I'm not type of person who go to concerts often. The only K-pop concerts I've been to, let me think of them. I've been to Rise one recently because one of my fan homies bought me ticket. And I went to Huzi Kaze one because one of my fan homies bought me a ticket. And I went to Keshuon because one of my fan homies bought me a ticket. I think I'm poor to the point where one of the homies have to buy me a ticket for me to go to a concert. Leeching off of homies. That's who I am. I leech off of you guys. I really get spoiled. I do look so happy in Huzi photos. Oh, if I could, I want to send my mom to Jungkook concert. I know the one they're having now is more of a group tour, but if Jungkook has his next solo tour, and if I'm rich enough, I should buy her a ticket for Jungkook concert. That'd be great. Because she already really liked the album when she got the golden album. So better start saving now. That's true. But okay, I actually enjoy the BTS talk. We could have more of these sessions until they make a comeback. Nothing like too serious. Just kind of yapping about experience with BTS. I think we could go on forever. And then we'll probably make ourselves a little bit more excited for the comeback. Maybe next time we could listen to some of the music videos again. Yes.